Bhagavan had hiccups that just would not subside. Krishnamurti treated him with the best of medicines, but it was all to no avail. Bhagavan's deteriorating health became a cause of grave concern. Krishnamurti felt that Bhagavan would not survive. With tears in his eyes, he prayed within his heart, "Bhagavan, help me save you." That night, Bhagavan appeared in Subbalakshmi's dream and said, "Why is Krishnamurti crying? Ask him to give me this Ayurvedic medicine which is prepared with a particular herbal leaf." Even in her dream, Subbalakshmi was puzzled. But Bhagavan continued, "It is there in your courtyard. Pluck it, fry it in ghee, add some jaggery, pound it, and bring it at 4 in the morning." In those days, women were not allowed to come into the ashram before 5 in the morning. Bhagavan wanted Subbalakshmi Ammal to come to the ashram at 4. When his wife hesitated, Krishnamurti said, "Bhagavan has asked us to go to him. We must." Krishnamurti and his wife went together. Bhagavan was waiting for them. He extended his hand and took the medicine they had made, and the hiccups stopped. The second incident is even more significant. When Krishnamurti was studying medicine, he had a professor named Srinivasa Rao. In later years, Dr. Rao stayed at the ashram as a personal attendant of Bhagavan. He was rather dominating. Once, when Bhagavan had serious pain in the stomach, perhaps from a hernia or appendicitis, he pronounced that it needed surgery. And he approached Nirajananda Swami, my grandfather, and the Sarvadakari, and convinced him that a surgery was necessary. Both of them wrote to Dr. Pandale, a famous surgeon in Chennai, and asked his opinion. Krishnamurti, who was a traditionalist, was unhappy. He thought to himself, "A yani's body should not be mutilated. No surgical instrument should be used on the physical body of a realized one because it rejuvenates itself. Every cell is divine." He pleaded with the other doctors to desist, but his pleas fell on deaf ears. He resorted to prayer. He prayed in his heart, "Bhagavan, help me save you from this difficult predicament." That very night, Bhagavan appeared in his dream and said, "Why are you worried, Krishnamurti? Mix these 3 Ayurvedic oils together, bring it in the morning, and that will be the cure." Krishnamurti and Subbalakshmi prepared it that night and took it to Bhagavan early the next morning, and he drank it. When Dr. Pandale and Dr. Rao examined Bhagavan the next morning prior to performing the surgery, they found that there was no symptom of the ailment. They were puzzled and wondered how it could have happened. Bhagavan let out the secret by saying, "This morning, Krishnamurti gave me an Ayurvedic oil. Everything has become all right." He spoke about it as if it had nothing whatsoever to do with the outcome, and that Krishnamurti later said of the incident, "This earned me more dislike from my teacher, Dr. Rao, because he thought I had vetoed his plan." Bhagavan respected Dr. Krishnamurti as a professional. He would always consult Krishnamurti before taking a medicine, even if another doctor had prescribed it. Such was his implicit faith in his devotee. But Krishnamurti was no longer consulted because he had opposed the surgery move of the senior doctors. This, however, proved a blessing in disguise to Krishnamurti Iyer, who from then on applied himself more and more to inner sadhana. In later years, when Bhagavan was diagnosed as having cancerous sarcoma on the left arm, Krishnamurti Iyer was not even invited for consultation about the mode of treatment. 3 surgeries had already been performed on Bhagavan's arm. Krishnamurti was in anguish because Bhagavan's body was being mutilated and he could not prevent it. For the 4th and the final surgery, a major one, Dr. Raghavachari and other famous surgeons came from Chennai. They stood before Bhagavan and announced, "Bhagavan, this surgery has to be done. The equipment is coming from Chennai." Bhagavan looked at them and asked, "Have you informed Krishnamurti Iyer?" All the surgeons, including Dr. Rao, went to Krishnamurti's house, and Dr. Rao sternly told him, "Do not prevent the surgery. There is no other option. They have all come for that. I know what Bhagavan's intention is when he asks us, 'Have you informed Krishnamurti?' It means that we have to have your permission for the surgery. So, come along with us, but do not say no to the surgery. Tell Bhagavan that it has to be done." And Krishnamurti cried out, "How can I do that?" The doctors had to almost physically drag him to the ashram. Krishnamurti himself narrated what happened next. Bhagavan gave him a look that seemed to communicate that he should not say no. Krishnamurti acceded to it, but he was in great turmoil. He requested the doctors to go ahead with the surgery. When the doctors left, he was alone with Bhagavan. Bhagavan communicated with Krishnamurti not through words, but through the silence of the heart. Bhagavan seemed to be saying, "What can be done, Krishnamurti? Things have to happen as they should. It is the will of Arunachala. His will be done." However, Bhagavan openly and audibly told Krishnamurti Iyer, "Stay with me until everything is completed." And this 4th surgery took place on 19th December 1949. From that day till the day Bhagavan dropped his body on 14th April 1950, Krishnamurti was with Bhagavan every night. He may not have been in the immediate presence of Bhagavan, but he was always in the vicinity of the hall, always alert, always available. When everyone else had gone to sleep, he would be with Bhagavan throughout the night. He later said, "Every night I would go through heaven and hell. To be with Bhagavan, my Guru, was heaven. To see his body suffer was hell." Dr. Krishnamurti's medical skill was deepened by his innate spirituality. I want to here narrate an incident involving myself. Once when I was in Benares, the problem in my back became septic. My father came to Benares and took me to Chennai. The doctor recommended surgery in order to prevent paralysis because the infection had spread. And Dr. T.N. Krishnaswamy told me, "You have to undergo surgery immediately." However, I stated, "I will be treated only by Dr. N.R. Krishnamurti Iyer." I do not know what urged me to say this. My father said, "We are not on talking terms with Krishnamurti Iyer. We haven't been in touch with him for over a decade now. How can I go and ask him to attend on you?" I replied, "I don't know." My father took me home, and my mother said, "Go to Krishnamurti Iyer." My father was reluctant and said, "How can I possibly face him?" However, my father went, and Krishnamurti said, "Yes, I will come, but under 2 conditions. When I am treating him, no one should enter the room, and you should not give me a time limit. You should also not question me on the treatment and the nature of the medicines I am giving him." Krishnamurti Iyer treated me for 2 months. While I was lying all the time on my stomach, He applied medicines on the deep sores on my back. More importantly, during those moments, he shared with me his mystical relationship with Bhagavan and Arunachala. It was very elevating and healing. I felt that more than the potency and curing power of his medicines, this spiritual sharing affected speedy healing and cured me fully. In one of those sharings, he said, Arunachala and Ramana are the same. Bhagavan has left the key of self-inquiry in Arunachala. The Bible says, ask and it shall be given. Knock and it shall be opened. This is literally true. If you ask Arunachala, he will give you the key to self-inquiry. Self-inquiry is to dive within. Krishnamurti Iyer started going round the hill daily, Pradakshina. He was also seen walking around Arunachala Shiva temple and sometimes wandering in the streets in an ecstatic state. People in the town openly said that he had gone mad. Daily, he would visit the ashram while doing the Giri Pradakshina and stand ecstatically in front of Bhagavan's Samadhi shrine and sing songs on Bhagavan and Arunachala at the top of his voice. I would prostrate to him and he would give me a smile of recognition, but would also point out to Bhagavan's shrine, indicating that Bhagavan alone deserved the prostrations. I could feel that he was having waves and waves of mystical experiences all the time. During his last days, he had an extraordinary experience. He said that Arunachala Shiva had informed him that the wheels of the big chariot on which the deity is taken during festival days would break, and that he should ask the temple's committee to repair it. The committee members did not pay attention to the doctor's words because they thought he was insane. However, when the chariot came near his house, it broke down. For 3 days, Krishnamurti Iyer was on the terrace of his house, looking at the chariot intently, unmindful of the scorching heat of the sun. He locked the terrace door and did not come down. On the 3rd day, for some strange reason, I had the inclination of visiting him when I was going round the hill. His wife said, "What can we do? We have not seen him for 3 days. He is upstairs, and we dare not even knock on the door." As his wife was talking to me, Krishnamurti entered and queried, "Has Ganesan come?" He asked his wife to leave us alone. I prostrated before him. He was tanned dark. He said, "Ganesan, Arunachala has called me. I am leaving. I bless you. Do not swerve from this path. Arunachala will save you. Stay here." He passed away after a few days. Arunachala had indeed absorbed him in the heart.